Hello and welcome to the birth of a new channel dedicated to Wuthering Waves lore, videos and theories. If you want to hear about my plans for this channel, watch until the end. But to start things off, I decided to summarize the 1.3 story and add a small little theory of mine based on what we learned. Let's jump right in! The story begins with us meeting Yang Yang, who notified Rover after learning that the Black Shores are investigating the ruined port city of Greyshu. We also meet Yohu, a new character that seems to be this universe's version of Toad. From a nearby bloom bearer, we learn that the target of the Black Shores investigation is an abnormal frequency, which shortly after turns out to be a strange person called Hoda, who claims to be a former bloom bearer and now represents the strange gravitational energy present in Greyshu. After exchanging some cryptic messages about Rover's past, the frequency transfers themselves onto a device Yohu and her master in antiques collected from the recently reopened Mount Firmament. This Black Shores device was once used to monitor a sentinel and was most likely brought to Mount Firmament by survivors of Greyshu, as it doesn't seem to be connected to Jewel. While further investigating the area, we are ambushed by TDs, which prompts the shorekeeper to teleport us to safety. Shortly after, we awaken at the Black Shores, separated from Yang Yang and Yohu. This is where the game, in form of the shorekeeper, drops the full name of the area that is home to the beings similar to Abby, which was teased back at the beginning of 1.1, Rinesita. Taking in the beautiful British weather and exploring the local cave systems, we discover Alto in its natural habitat as the foggy gatekeeper of the Black Shores and its atmospheric conditions. Now we finally get to explore the new area, and as expected, it is absolutely stunning, with beautiful skybox grass that starts to glow when walking over it, and charming little Koo robots, tending to the flowers. Heh, get it? Koo robots? Kuro bots? Anyway, after getting introduced to everyone, we hand over the recovered frequencies to be uploaded and analyzed by the Tethys system. This turns out to be a bad idea as the system proceeds to malfunction even more than up to this point, which after some time results in the spread of corrupted data, disabling the anchor pillar, stabilizing the tessitite on which the Black Shores are built. It seems the time has finally come for the Overdash champions to show their skill. Each cleansed anchor tower restores one small bit of Rover's lost memories, until finally the entrance to the Tethys Deeps opens. But before we are allowed to go there, it's exposition time with our buddy Al. Hoda is indeed a former bloom bearer, but died a few hundred years ago in Port Greyshu, dating the lament to around that time, and is now part of the Necrostar, later described as a black hole. Lastly, the shorekeeper confirms what our rediscovered memories already hinted at, namely Rover being the original founder of the Black Shore organization. Armed with this new knowledge, we jump into our next adventure in the Tethys Deeps. Tethys Deep is the underground area of the Black Shores where the shorekeeper resides and most of the work on the Tethys system happens. Being greeted by the former, we learn that she, as well as the Tethys system she is part of, is built out of sonorospheres, which grant her the ability to manipulate space by creating portals. Our little chat is cut short by a falling star landing in a nearby building, once again spreading corrupted data and TDs to be taken care of. As it turns out, this is the gravitational energy we uploaded earlier, manifesting as a black hole, or as the Tethys system calls it, a necrostar. What follows is a rather lengthy process of retrieving the necrostar from the error cell and bringing it to the modulation hole, where it is to be corrected and reintegrated to stabilize Tethys. During which we get thrown some tasty little treats like a sneak peek for the Phantom Inferno Rider skin, or the confirmation that Abby has been part of Rover for a very long time. Arriving at the modulation hall, we place the necrostar into an analysis device, allowing us to enter a recreation of the contained data. Said data being the last minutes of the port city of Greyshu in its prime. With the necrostar no longer occupying the Tethys system's computational power, the shorekeeper finally joins us in person to assist us in restoring the system's full functionality, giving Rover a chance for a proper face-to-face conversation. Gazing upon countless skyscrapers illuminating the night sky, they reminisce about what was lost to the lament. The shorekeeper doing most of the reminiscing, rather than our amnesiac protagonist of course. Which isn't to say she has direct memories of it either, since she only heard about all of this from us. We make our way through the simulated Greyshu towards the source of the lament, until we meet a familiar face in Hoda, alongside other victims of the lament who remain trapped in the simulated space, fueling the Tethys system's computations. Hoda attempts to tell us, her former mentor, something about the lament she figured out during the hundreds of years she was trapped in here, but is cut short by the Tethys system attempting to restart the Necrostar as is, causing her to vanish after begging us to save them from the cycle. After eliminating the source of the corruption, Tethys attempts to integrate Rover, or the Chief Steward as it calls us, to replace the core computational unit, prompting the Shorekeeper to save us by taking our place.
Tell me this story later, when we meet again. Farewell.
Backup plan enabled.
After a heartfelt farewell in some sort of pocket dimension, we are returned to the modulation hall, our victory over the corruption darkened by the loss of the Shorekeeper. This is where the fun begins, or it would if there wasn't a story to finish first, so we put a pin in that. Everything after this is basically just us playing bait for the Tethys system. The researchers are in theory capable of extracting the Shorekeeper from Tethys' data, but they would need her specific location in Tethys' memory and access to that location first. This leads to the following plan. Rover enters the memory using the admin access the Shorekeeper granted us in her last moments, in an attempt to lead the researchers tracking our location while provoking the Tethys system into revealing where the Shorekeeper is currently being held.
The future ahead is frozen in cold silence.
Be careful. Please, leave here. Use the grapple to leave.
The earth rent asunder. The world reduced to ashes. Target confirmed. Chief Steward.
Please go. Don't look back. Must protect you. My story ends here, but you must keep going.
This system must continue to function.
Calling my last scenario.
By giving us all the basics to this plan, the game doesn't really do a good job in showing us, despite what it chooses to show us looking pretty damn cool, leading to some confusion on my part while playing this section for the first time. Especially the last scene after touching the Shorekeeper's hand, where we suddenly find us in the pocket dimension from before, seemingly giving up on everything, didn't make a lot of sense, until I realized that we fulfilled our role at this point and all that was left was waiting for the researchers to bring the both of us back. After that, we get a short epilogue that doesn't really contain anything that interesting, just another comment about Abby being something strange and the Tethys system being given some form of replacement for the Necrostar. And that's all for 1.3. So, all in all, we still don't really know what exactly Rover is. They seem to be millions of years old and we know that they founded the Black Shores, but not much in terms of their actual origin. From what I've seen online, the general consensus is that Rover is a godlike guardian of humanity, descending onto Solaris whenever the people are in need. And there have been hints toward that conclusion, but I've also seen a number of people annoyed about it for being unoriginal and boring. For those people, I think I have good news. Let's take another look at one of the memories we unlocked after restoring the anchors.
This is the beginning of a new story. its geographical coordinates remain unchanged. Everything is as it was. Even time leaves no traces on the Tacitite. This world has not yet begun, but we have already seen its end. They too will be as fragile and lost as we once were. But this time, we will show them what we believe in.
As we once were, meaning it's very likely that Rover is in fact human, at least originally. But this also tells us something else about our origin. We have already seen its end. This sentence leads me to believe that Rover is a time traveler who has seen the end of the world and aims to prevent this outcome. Now, being a time traveler isn't much better compared to being an immortal guardian of humanity in terms of originality. But here's the thing, just because we travel through time doesn't mean we have the power to time travel. Before we delve deeper, we still have the spin, so let's take a look at that. After the Shorekeeper sacrifices herself, the game forces us to take a look at some documents, all of them related to her in some way. One of these documents talks about a plan to prevent the disaster decimating the entire planet, and about 2 instances controlling time and space respectively, meant to assist the execution of said plan. Instance 2 is obviously the Shorekeeper, as the documents mention her being made from the Sonoro. As for Instance 1, I've seen theories in stream chats assuming this to be Jewel, since they also are connected to Rover and can indeed control time to some extent. We can safely assume this theory to be wrong though, for 2 simple reasons. 1. Jewel is only one of many centrals in Huanglong and beyond, and was never mentioned to be something special among those. And 2. Jewel and the Shorekeeper don't have the same authority, as the Sentinel can be commanded by us while the Shorekeeper existed even before our arrival. No, Instance 1 would need to be like the Shorekeeper herself, most likely humanoid as well, maybe with a similar design inspired by the Night Sky. And I think I found her. Take a look at this. We have the constellations in her hair, we have the somewhat artificial look with her clothes seamlessly transitioning into her skin, but most importantly, she sends us on our journey, resulting in Rover falling out of the Etheric Sea. The Etheric Sea being connected to time in the same way the Sonoro is connected to space, as confirmed by the Shorekeeper herself. In other words, she's a being that controls time, and it should be easy for her to send someone to the past. For example, someone with a special frequency slumbering within them. But how did we become the founder of the Black Shores if we were sent directly to where we started the game? While we're here, let's take a look at these strange lights flying around. What's up with those? It's hard to pinpoint exact locations as the mountains in the background don't exist on the actual map, but we see one of the lights flying towards the North Barrens, and another landing somewhere in the direction of either the Black Shores or Mount Firmament. Fun fact, you can actually see the Black Shores in-game, especially at night. We also know that at least one of them came out of the desert mark, which means they are in some way connected to us. My current theory about those lights answers 2 important questions. Why did we lose our memory? And why are there traces of our influence throughout history if we were sent directly to here and now? While researching historical mentions of Rover, I stumbled upon a very interesting piece of information. The archive document The First Resonator that we read during Act 1 talks about a resonator resembling our features. To no surprise, as we already know, it's in fact talking about Rover. The surprising part, however, is the mention of said resonator having amnesia as well. This leads me to the following conclusion. During our time travel, our body and soul split up into multiple pieces, either intentionally or not, and the lights scattering across the land are different parts of us, landing in different places and ages. The part that contained our memory eventually made its way to Tethys and founded the Black Shores, and the part that contained our Darkwing powers ended up inside the Snowlin, where we reclaimed it. The question remains, what part did we inherit? Could Abby be unique to our version of Rover? Only time will tell. If she's still alive. Thank you for watching until the end. This is the first of multiple lore videos I have already planned to make, but I don't want to just keep it at those. I have a lot of theories cooking and I genuinely love discussing them with other people, which is why I intend to make this channel as interactive as possible. Depending on the amount of traction and interesting comments the videos get, I plan to do dedicated videos answering your questions and analyzing your theories. Maybe even do some theory crafting streams at some point. So feel more than encouraged to leave your thoughts down below. This is mostly a hobby project, so the next video might take 1 to 2 weeks, but I promise the time will come when you once again hear Sheen's Call.